Okay, and we're on to part 2 of the new truck video. And I just wanted to quickly show you, this is the handout they give you for the automated transmission class that you have to take. If you've actually, anyone who's upgrading and has, even if you've driven an automated transmission truck the entire time you're at Prime, that you have to go to this class. So I was kind of surprised when I showed up. I figured it would just be guys like me who had an manual truck or were coming to Prime from an automatic truck, a manual truck, switching to an automated manual truck. But it's everybody. They make everybody who, if you've gone through PSD and TNT, and even if you have a restriction, they want to make sure that they've got everything covered. And basically all this is it's just kind of a handy reference guide of the things they talked about in class, you know, over RPM, over speeding, you know, can you switch to manual mode, and all that. So I just quickly wanted to show you that. And it's going to take some getting used to for me. There's no doubt about that. But the primary thing that I wanted to show you, and I want to cover up this just so you don't have a couple of personal information. This is the pre-lease inspection. And you're going to do this. This is a brand new truck that I have. You know, barely has any miles on it. This is the same inspection that you do this truck, or if you get a truck that has been leased for 3.5 years and you're on a 4-year lease, you're only, you know, you're going to turn it back in 6 months. If you get a truck that's been used for 6 months and you're going to turn it in 3.5 years, or if you're in tanker 2.5 years, or in reefer in 2.5 years. So this is the same inspection that you get. And let's flip the page carefully so we don't reveal the personal information. But just to give you an idea, that's how thick this inspection is. And it's all stuff like this, just to give you an idea. It's more in-depth, obviously, than a pre-trip inspection. You're going to go over every single button, every single feature, every single item on this truck, and make sure that it functions correctly. And you want to, especially with a pre-leased or a used truck, you want to make sure you go through, and really a new truck as well, you want to make sure all this stuff works. Because when you turn the truck in, and you want to inspect for damage, when you turn the truck in at the end of your lease, if you note damage that's been done before you inspect a used truck, you will not be responsible for it. It'll be the responsibility of the person before you. But if you just say, oh, it's a dent, who cares? They're going to come back and you didn't note it on your pre-lease inspection. So, but again, this is every single thing. So just, you know, take a look here. Gauges, do they work? Dash light adjustment, does it dim and brighten? Switch, do they work? So again, you're going through every single function. The other thing that this does is it makes sure you know how to use everything on your truck before you leave the yard, because especially for someone like me who is switching between an international and a Freightliner, they want to make sure that I know what every button is and where it is, and before I start driving down the highway and I go, well, geez, where's the cruise control, or where is the lane alert button, or how do I do that? They don't want you in the middle of nowhere and not knowing how particular button or feature works. Or you know, I know for certain on this one the power steering fluid reservoir is in a different place on this truck than it is on the other truck, the International. And I know that because I remember that from 4 years ago. But that's one of the ways that you make sure that you have put your hands on or visually inspected every single piece of this truck before you leave the yard. So once again, this is page upon page of, and it's not just buttons on the truck. It's, you know, here we go, tire pressure monitoring system, or all the sensors working correctly. Is the windshield washer cap missing? You know, is the engine air filter clean? I'm just skipping pages here because there's no. So then you get to, and this is what I was talking about, body inspection. So this is obviously on a new truck. This is maybe a little less important because the odds are that there's not going to be any body damage on that truck. But on a pre-lease truck or a used truck, and I'm using those terms interchangeably, they're going to be the same thing. But there's going to be some damage. There's going to be, you drive a car off a lot, somebody opens their door and dings your door. That's going to happen to these trucks, and this is where you want to make note of that. And they go through every single, again, part and piece on this truck down to the nuts and bolts. You look right here. If you raise the hood, how about the hood support strap? Does the hood rest in place correctly? Is the front grille damaged? So, I mean, you're talking every, front grille insert screen, is it missing or damaged? So, once again, you're going through every single little piece. And then there's a page where, you can take you can draw pictures. Where is their damage? So that, once again, you are not responsible. Now, when you're done with this, and then here's a little instructions, and this was good for me because these are instructions on how to use, the Thermo King APU, which is something that I have not had before. Now, when you're done with this full inspection, you're going to turn it in. If there's anything wrong with the truck, they're going to fix it. They will make sure that it is road ready before you leave the yard. Now, the caveat to that is, if there's a ding or a dent or even a cracked or missing body panel, they more than likely will not fix that or replace it on a pre-leased or used truck, because that's not going to affect the safety or the road readiness of the truck. But if there's something, the radio doesn't work, they will fix the radio before you leave Springfield. Now, the key is you need to complete this entire form, turn it in, and then inspect the work that they've done to make sure that it has been repaired to your satisfaction before you sign your lease. If they don't fix it to your satisfaction, if you're looking at a used truck, that's when you say, okay, maybe I want to get a different truck because they're not, they repaired some item. A day later, you're finishing up and the radio doesn't work again. Let's just say it's the radio. You may say, well, the radio's not going to work in this truck. I don't want to deal with that. And I just threw radio out because I don't know, I'm looking at it. But anyway, that's when, as somebody who's looking at a used truck, that may be the point you say, I think it's time to look at a different truck. You do also get a 30-day warranty from Success Leasing. So anything that goes wrong with this truck within the first 30 days of you leasing, you can take it into a Prime terminal, Prime repair shop, of course, Salt Lake City, Pittston, and here in Springfield, Missouri, and they will do the repair within 30 days, within the first 30 days at no charge. That's part of, it's 30-day bumper-to-bumper warranty that you do have on this truck. And then obviously you've got manufacturer's warranties for 100, 300,000, 500,000 miles for various parts and pieces on the truck. And some items obviously are not warranted. Tires are not going to be warranted and whatnot, wear items. But you do have warranties beyond that. You also, last thing I wanted to note before I finish up on this, and we're going to really finish the new truck portion of this exercise, and then, I'm going to have my lease signed and be getting out of here after Driver Advisory Board. That's going to be the next video, is I'll talk about Driver Advisory Board. But the last thing is you do have a deferred truck payment. Your first 7 days, and I want to clarify this, and maybe let's flip the camera around so I can talk, and I apologize, I don't have my phone holder in this truck yet, but let's flip the camera around. Okay, so a deferred truck payment. To clarify that, this is not a free truck payment for your first 7 days. Starts on the date that you turn in your lease to Success Leasing. So for me, I'm going to probably turn in my lease on Tuesday because I want to get out of here on Tuesday after Driver Advisory Board, which is on Monday. So for Tuesday through the next 7 days, so Tuesday through Monday, I will have 7 days, 1 full week's worth of deferred truck payment. Deferred truck payment is not a free week. It's not that you don't ever have to pay it back. They're going to take that money out over the course of the next several weeks. And I don't remember, I think it's 50 weeks. But I haven't read the contract yet, so don't quote me on that. I'll have more information later and I can clarify that. But they're going to take somewhere around $20 a week out for your first week deferred truck payment. It's kind of a way of them saying, hey, we understand you just spent some downtime at the yard. It's going to be difficult that first week to get going and make some money. So instead of nailing you for your truck payment right away, let's give you a little bit of a head start to make sure that you don't go in the hole the first week. So that's how the deferred truck payment works. I just wanted to clarify that because, like I said, I think there is some misconception that it is a free truck payment the first week, which is not the case. You do earn forgiven lease payments. After you've been at Success and Prime for 2 years, you do earn a forgiven lease payment, and that you never have to pay back. You can take it if you want to take a week's vacation. You get a forgiven lease payment, and then after you've been at Prime 4 years, you earn 2, and so that's every year. So after 2 years, you get 1. After 3 years, you get 1. After 4 years, you get 2. If you don't use them, they don't go away. They're not like some companies have vacation days that, expire at the, December 31st or something along those lines. You can use them whenever you want to. Some people like to use them towards the end of a lease. If they want to turn a lease in early, or if they want to take some additional time off at the end of a lease, they have a tendency to do that. You can take up to 59 days off at the end of a lease before you come back. If you take more than 59 days off, you'll have to redo orientation. Just as a heads up if you're switching from one truck to another. So, there we go. New truck. Ordered, ready. Hopefully we'll be out of here in a couple of days. Again, I have driver advisory board stuff to take care of the next couple of days. So, gonna finish doing my inspection and moving stuff from the old truck, which is parked right next to me, into this one. And I'll be back on the road and I'll be able to get some new topics for you. I can do some more stuff on automated manual transmission trucks and Freightliners and talk about stuff I haven't been able to talk about. So hope you enjoyed all this new truck stuff. Hope you enjoyed the end of lease stuff on the old truck, which I'm kind of doing these out of order. I actually recorded this one before I recorded the end of lease stuff, but I'm going to release that first because I obviously haven't cleaned that one out to move stuff in here yet. But hope you've enjoyed these. Thanks for watching. Any questions, obviously, click on the email in the description. You can fire off an email there. You can comment. And if you do want to come to Prime, click on the link. Takes you right to the application. And you don't have to fill out, you don't have to go searching for it. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.